do indeed. We've come down towards Thandi's den, and there, camouflaged right on top, is the beautiful Thandi just looking out. Now, the little cub was out for a few seconds. It ran back towards those stumps. There it is. Look, it's on top of the tree, Wildy. So it's there on top of the tree. It's just its little ears poking out. Look at how cute it is. Hey, little one. They're such a cute little thing, Liz. I can't get enough of it, and it seems as though it's been absolutely spoiling everybody with some amazing sightings. So it is around. It will move around quite a bit. I'm pretty sure it's going to go back up towards where Thandi is. We parked nice and far away just to give her some nice space. See, she's calling. She's telling the cub everything's okay. Come on. There we go. Just little soft calls. Let's see if the little one, there it goes. It's going up the bank. There we go. Hey, little one. How cute is that? And it's just trying to negotiate. And you see that stalking technique? Look at it bounce around. That is as cute as it gets. How cool is that? There we go, little one. You can see the sort of instinct in it already, where it's biting and chewing and grabbing. And in Thandi, I think we have a little playing session with it. How awesome is this? We are going to get so spoiled. Now, hopefully she'll roll back towards our side. And then I don't want to move too much because I don't want to give the cub a fright. And with Thandi playing, it's such a special thing to be a part of. And I know there's a few bushes in the way. And hopefully, like I say, she'll roll the opposite side or even move down towards the tree itself. And we'll be able to see them a lot better because it is so wonderful. You can see they're just moving around a bit. Let's just try and see if we move slightly forward, Vim. I think you'll get a better gap. Now, she seems as though she's okay. The little cub hopefully won't be too perturbed by us as well. How's that, Vim? Is that better? There we go. So it's, look at that. It's watching us and the little tail. I'm sure it's going to pounce on that tail. The leopard and lions, they love mom's tail. No, we're going to go for the shoulder and go for the back. Now, to me, it looks like a little female, so you can see the tail is up. And so the first time I saw it, I thought it might be a female, but it looks like it. Oh, careful you don't get squashed, little one. How cool is this? This is so special. And this is the best part about leopard cubs. The first time we saw it, it was amazing just to see such a tiny little cub. And then you get to a situation where you get to now, at this point, when they start to become playful. And this is the best sort of period to view leopard cubs. From now until the time that they reach about a year old, they become super playful. And because it's on her own, we're going to see a lot of playfulness with mom in particular. So Thandi's going to get harassed a lot by this little cub over the next few months. And that's because it doesn't have a sibling to play with. If you think of Shangila and Hosanna, they used to have lots of games, the two of them chasing each other up and down. Now that little one doesn't have that option, so it's got to try and do it all with mom. And so mom's tail, mom's ears, everything is going to be bitten and bounced on. And look at this. This is so cool. Whoopsie, where did it go? Did it go falling down the bank? It looked as though it almost went tumbling down the bank. No, there it is. How cool. This is very, very special. Now, I'm pretty sure that if we just keep coming here, and we'll start to see that this cub is going to get better and better with us. It still initially gets a little frightened and runs to the den, but when you see Thandi calling it out, that's really going to make things that much better for all of us. It's going to allow, us to be able to view her a lot more, and as the more time we can spend here, then obviously the more the little cub won't worry about us. And it is fairly relaxed. The fact that it's out and playing with mom at this stage already is very, very cool to see. But look at the size of those paws, and you can see it biting everything. So it's on her nose, on her ears. This is very cool. Hopefully they'll just roll slightly to the right again, or into the left of where we are now, because there we go, she's up and moving now. Let's see what she does. It's typical of a leopard is that they do play for a little bit and then they decide, no, that's it, I've had enough, I'm going to go and sit down somewhere else. And then the cub needs to kind of take that hint, and you'll find that they often don't though, and soon the cub will come bounding up again and try and jump on mom as soon as she lies down. But let's just see what happens. I'm hoping she's going to settle down right there somewhere. There we go. There it comes. How cool is this? This is very special. Just to see it running around the way that it is, and the fact that it's jumping all over Mom, this is really as good as it gets, that's for sure. Now they're going to disappear behind a little embankment for now, so I just want to sit here and see, because there's the tail kind of still poking out. I don't really want to move too much just yet. I just want to see what she gets up to and whether or not she starts to come down towards the riverbed itself. The problem with where they've gone now is that I actually can't get to that section at all, so I won't be able to even go around over the top there. So if she's moving deeper off that way, then there's going to be very difficult for us to be able to go anywhere near there. Can you see anything there, Vildi? No. Let's just try and reposition onto the other bank. Maybe we can get a view from this top bank again. So cool to see, though. It is, as like I say, as good as it gets, that's for sure. I think we might have a bit of a tough time actually seeing her. So it just goes to show, though, sometimes we come here and we think she's not here, and she could very well be. It's just that she's on the other side, or she's on a different bank or something like that, and it makes it, you know, quite tricky to actually see her. I was thinking that she might be... I'm just trying to work out where she was. She was there and she went down this side, so let's just have a little look. They might have gone down into the riverbed itself, which will be actually quite nice because it's beautiful down there. There's nice soft sand for this little one to play in, and it'll be quite cool if they are going to play in the riverbed itself. I just want to go slowly, though, because obviously we don't want to pressurize Thandi in any way whatsoever. Right, now I'm going to go and try and just check around and see if we can get another view of Thandi and this little cub. And while I do that, let's go back across to Steve and see if he's had any luck with all of those alarm calls and whether Tingana has showed. We have indeed. So she's moved all the way up towards central area with the little cub. You can see there, and the cub's seeing an impala snorting for the first time. So it's a little nervous because there's lots of noise around because the impalas are shouting at it. Look, how cute is that little thing? I think it's a bit unsure. Mom, what do I do? I'm not sure what to do. There's so much going on. So she's just trying to work out where she's going. There's Thandi just standing in the road, and I think she's trying to start taking this cub around. I wonder if she's maybe going to take it somewhere. She's calling it. She's like, come on, it's okay. These even snorting impalas are not going to hurt you. Although now we're going to go back into the thickets, and I don't know if we're going to be able to keep up with her where she's going. She's going back towards the den that we've just come from. So it's just back and forth with Thandi at the moment. I want to try and give her a little bit of space and try and let her move on her own accord. Unfortunately, these impalas and things are just going to give her a real tough time. It's going to cause the cub to be a little bit nervous and a bit panicky about what's going on. The cub's probably never had impala's alarm call at it, and so this is the first time for it to hear these things. So I just want to go slowly. I'm sure they're going to go down back towards the drainage section and down towards the pipes. Oh, there she is right there. So let's just stay right here. We don't have to go too much further. There we go. Now I can't see the little one just yet. How beautiful is that, though? Hello, girl. Unfortunately, this is the perils of being a leopard and carrying moving your cub around, is that you are going to bump into other animals, and there is going to be alarm calls and all kinds of other things that are going to take place. Now you can see here, which is very, very interesting, which I want to show you quickly, is she's just gone to the toilet, her and the cub, and look what she's done. She's tried to scrape her sand over that to deaden the scent so that other animals can't. Just gone to the toilet, her and the cub, and look what she's done. She's tried to scrape her sand over that to deaden the scent so that other animals can't smell this and then follow where it goes. So she's scraping over her own dung in order to try and hide her scent and to try and keep it from being able to be smelled by things like hyenas and lions and other leopards. Very, very, very interesting. Normally, a leopard wouldn't worry about that at all, you know, especially a territorially dominant female. She would normally be quite fine with her scent being around and her sort of dung, but in this case, it's a little bit different. Now, these guys are still calling. Just going slowly because I don't want to frighten her or the cub. Now, they should have gone straight through here, I wonder if they're not going back towards the den again. There's a Franklin. I wonder if they drop down. Sometimes she goes down towards the drainage line. She knows it's much thicker, it's much quieter in here, and this is a place where she can hide this little cub without too many issues. Now, Rusty, of course, is not being very neato at all, and is starting to squeak as we go down. Let's see now. So I thought she might pop out down this side. This is an area that I've seen her go in before. So I just want to get around this bend and just see, maybe if we just sit by here, we might see her coming through the thickets. But it is amazing how quickly you can lose her. In 2 seconds, she goes from being visible to being invisible. And that's the beauty of a leopard and why they are so amazing and why it's such an animal that a lot of people have this kind of attraction to. It's because it's so difficult to actually see them and to find them. I mean, she was literally right next to the road and now we've lost her completely. So I'm sure she's moving around somewhere in this vicinity. We're just going to have to be patient. She came down towards this sort of Tamburti thicket, and I thought maybe, just maybe, she might come over this ridge and down towards the drainage. You can hear the impalas have stopped shouting now, so they've decided they've given up on that, and hopefully that means that Thandi is going to arrive somewhere in this area. I thought she might come out on that ridge there somewhere. Maybe not. Just have to keep an eye out for her. Hopefully she will make another appearance somewhere. I wonder if Thandi might take her towards water. There is a little pan on the other side there that maybe Thandi is going to take her just to have a little drink of water and get her into that area. Might be worth just checking that side. The problem is the longer we don't have her, the harder it becomes to find her again, because she obviously moves quite a bit, and this little cub, you can see it's very at home around the den sites, but as soon as it's outside of the den sites, it's a lot more skittish, and that's because it knows there's lots of big dangerous things out here, and it must be nerve-wracking. Imagine walking around, all of a sudden there's all these big massive male impalas with horns that are shouting at you and snorting at you, and mom is kind of just standing there and you don't really know what's going on. So that's probably why the little cub got a bit nervous and sort of trotted away and into the thicket, where it knows it can camouflage and it can use its instincts to be able to hide. Where have you gone? Come on. I don't know. Mobile Paddy wondering if the cub will trust its mom's call to just come and to sort of move in her direction implicitly, and so over and above the fear. To a degree, yes. So there it lost its nerve and went back, and Thandi knew that it was going back into the bush, and so before it ran too far and became a bit of an issue, she made sure that she just went back and kind of, there she is right there with the cub. There they are out in the open. Now they're going down towards, they look like they're going towards the camp, so maybe they're going to go towards the dam for the first time. How cute is that? This is so special. Hey little one, are you impersonating the impalas? This is so cool. A very warm welcome to those of you that have just joined us on this live special broadcast from South Africa. As you can see, we've managed to find the most elusive of the big cats in the form of a mother with her tiny little 3-month-old cub, and she's just moving it from a den, so they're busy bouncing around. You can hear in the background there's birds shouting, there's impalas, which is a type of antelope. They are busy snorting at us, and then the mom, who's slowly calling her cub and telling it, come on, we're going to keep going, everything is okay, you don't have to worry about all the noise. My name is Tristan. On camera today I've got a VM, and this is a live broadcast, which means that you can ask any questions that you may have. Just post the questions in the comment section below and we'll try and get through as many as possible. But you see, she's trying to introduce this cub into all of these new places. Now, she's had this cub in a den for the last 3 months, and so it means that the cub has not ventured very far at all. And so now she's starting to take it, as far as I know, on its first major walk out of the den. And so there's lots of things happening, there's noise, and so the cub is a little kind of unsure about all of this and is just trying to sort of work out what's happening. But it's getting more relaxed. The more that it watches mom and sees that mom is okay with the shouting impalas, the more it's okay. And look at how cute it is. It's tiny compared to her, so it still struggles to get over the grass. It's quite a playful little thing. It likes to play a lot with mom. And look at that. Isn't that just absolutely spectacular? That is as good as it gets, that's for sure. It is the most incredible thing to be able to watch a leopard, and to see a cub of this age out in the open like this is as special as it ever is going to get. Look at that. Go on, man. Catch up with mom, little one. There we go. You see how it stays nice and close? Make sure that it keeps up with mom, because otherwise it can get into a bit of trouble. There's lots of dangerous things out here, from birds of prey to snakes to hyenas to lions, other leopards. So these are all things that unfortunately she has to try and kind of keep the cub safe from. So the cub tries to stay nice and close. Its instinct is that mom is a safe point, and her mom will try and protect it at all costs. But this is just so amazing. We are being absolutely spoiled by seeing them so nicely out in the open. Normally a leopard with its cub, look, she's going to pick it up because she wants to take it somewhere now. Look, so she grabs it by the neck. That's not trying to hurt it in any way, although it doesn't seem like it wants to be picked up. It's like, no, mom, I can run on my own. I've got my I've got my own legs. I can do what I want. So sometimes they will pick them up and carry them when they're not listening, and especially when they're out in the open like this. But she's decided, the little cub's like, I don't want anything to do with being picked up. I can so definitely run on my own. Mom, you don't need to worry about me. I'm a big girl now. Now the little one is a girl. It's difficult to tell at this age, but when it lifts its tail, you can see that it is a little female. And so it's got its mom's already. It's got its mom's sort of fighting spirit and its attitude. Dara, you're wondering if it can climb a tree at this age. So yes, it can start climbing now. It's not very good at climbing, but it has started to learn how to climb. It hasn't quite got things right just yet, but it is learning. And I've seen it on some fallen over trees, and it will start to venture into the trees, and mom will actually teach it. It's quite amazing how it works. Is a mother will go and she'll climb the tree, and then she'll call. And she tries to get the cub up into the tree, then she jumps out the tree, and then she tries to call the cub down the tree, and that's how they practice getting to learn how to be able to climb and to develop those muscles. Now you see she's just making soft little contact calls. She's trying to say to the cub, come on, let's go. We don't need to hang around here. We're getting too much attention dragged towards us. All these impalas shouting. Something like a hyena could come and see what's going on, or lions, or another leopard. And so she's trying to get this cub out of here as quick as possible. So she wants to move, and she needs the cub to come with her. But there's the impalas. You can see them standing to attention. They're the ones that are making all the noise. So that's what I was saying. That's what's shouting at her, and she'll want to get out of here as much as possible and as quick as possible, because she doesn't want all the attention from those impalas. But this is just as special as you could possibly ask for. A cub out in the open like this is a very rare sight, particularly of this age. But I think she's had enough now. She's definitely wants to take it and pick it up. Come on. Yeah, yes, you're being naughty. You need to come with me now. Enough of this nonsense. So there we go. It's going to be picked up. Now it looks as though it's all a bit uncomfortable, and it probably is, especially when the cub is not. You see, cub wants to play. It's basically saying, Mom, I don't care about going anywhere. I want to play now. And Mom is trying to grab it, and I think the cub thinks that this is playtime, because it probably hasn't been carried too many times. Look at that face, though. It's just the face of naughtiness, that is. Shame, and I'm sure she's, like I say, the mom wants to get her out of here as quick as possible. The longer that this goes on for, and the longer these impalas shout, the more we're going to have a situation where it brings about a danger element to this little one. So mom wants to get her out of here as quick as possible. And you can see she's not hunting these impalas, even though she's with the cub. The impalas still know it's a threat, and they're just trying to warn everybody. So Jason, you're wondering what she does with the cub when she hunts. Well, what she'll do is she'll take the little cub and she'll hide it in a den. So that will be a fallen over tree, maybe with some roots, like she's been using recently, or a hole in a riverbank, or an area where it's very dense and thick and is impossible to actually see, then she'll try and tuck that little cub in there, and that's how she keeps it safe from all of the other sort of predators and those kind of things. And the more experienced mothers will be able to choose better den sites than the inexperienced mothers, and she's an 11-year-old leopardess, and she's had cubs in the past. To go to put her cubs in safe place, and she's done very well already at keeping this little one alive. But it's still now a dangerous period. The first year of any leopard's life is really filled with lots of danger, and so she's going to have a situation where she's going to have to try and keep this little one alive and try and keep it from kind of getting itself into trouble. And she looks, by the looks of things, is going to have her hands full, because she's got a lot of naughtiness in the form of that little cub. It's being very sort of cheeky already and is just trying to run around all over the show. Now she's moving into a bit of a thicket. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to keep up with her. I also don't want to scare her in any way and cause her to sort of run away from us, or the cub to run away. So we're just going to coast slowly forward. I can still see her there a little bit. Let's just go a little bit further forward and try and see if she is going to come out into the open. The cub is fairly used to us already, because we've spent a bit of time with her over the last sort of 3 weeks. We've been managing to get a few sightings, so the cub is fairly used to the vehicles. But like I say, we don't want to pressurize her, especially in a situation like this where mom is taking her out the den and really walking her quite far for the first time. We don't want a situation where either the cub or the mother is stressed in any way. We want them to be able to be confident around the vehicles, and for the cub to learn that the vehicle is not a dangerous thing, and that it can stay nice and far, or can come nice and close and doesn't have to worry about us at all. But you can see how a leopard just disappears. You would think that coloration and that bright sort of tan colors with black spots would be easy to spot, but as soon as they go behind any sort of vegetation, it almost becomes impossible to see them. So they are masters of camouflage. She's going to come out one last time, I think, so let's try and see if maybe we can see her as she moves off. There she goes. She's just going through the thickets and moving away from us now, and so I don't really want to stress her too much, especially because the little cub is being a bit naughty. So we're going to try and see if we can keep up with her for the morning, but we're not going to pressurize her too much. And so that's going to be the end of this special broadcast. I hope that you all enjoyed it thoroughly, and that you'll continue to follow us twice daily as we negotiate the wilds of Africa. We're going to try, like I say, keep up with this leopard, so we'll see you all hopefully, and if that little cub comes out, we'll definitely back on an action broadcast for all of you. Right, so we are still with Thandi. She's just in front of me here, moving straight towards Gari Dam. So she's going northwards. Seems as though the cub is there as well, so the cub is following. And this is vitally important that we do spend some time following her and trying to keep up with her a little bit, so the cub gets used to us driving behind them, driving over a few small trees, and just gets that kind of, realization that we're not a big dangerous animal that's going to hurt them. But how special was that, having her out in the open and watching Thandi trying to pick her up? She really is a little rebel. Ooh. We've now parked ourselves on a tree that we've now stuck on. There we go. It just took a little bit more acceleration. I think Thandi's dropped down into the riverbed section below here. So what I want to do is I want to just stay on top, and then we can follow her along, because I think she's actually moving this cub either to a new den site or she's taking it to food. So I want to just keep up with them. There they are, they're right here, and the cub is fine. She's actually taking us following her through the bush really well. I'm quite impressed at how well this little cub is actually handling it. There it is. Hello, little one. You are naughty, you know that. Poor Thandi, she was trying to get it away from those impalas, and it just didn't want to go. There it goes, little bum disappearing down into the bush. It's full of beans this morning, this little one. But let's keep going. Like I say, if you do watch the dam cam, I would say 3-4 minutes from the dam itself. So maybe it's going to make its first dam cam appearance. In fact, you can actually see the dam wall from where we are. It's just over the top there. So that's how close we are, which is very cool. Now, I'm going to try and keep up with her as she negotiates this sort of donga system. I also need to tell the other guys where I am, because some people have been asking. So while we do that, let's go back across to Steve, who I hope gets some luck with Tingana at some stage this morning. They've just come out and crossed the road, and they're going deeper into this little block off of Gari Dam. So I'm just keeping my distance a little bit. They're off to my left-hand side, and the little one is handling this whole process of us following her around very, very well. Thandi is being an absolute delight today. She is not hissing or growling or anything. She's actually being very relaxed with us, which is very cool to see. So I'm super excited that we're being able to follow them like this. It's such valuable lesson for the cub that we're not dangerous, and it's going to make life so much easier later on when it's kind of moving around and when we find it by itself and those kind of things later. So it really is a good thing that Thandi is moving it. So they're just off to my left now. They're slowly kind of coming up to where I am, and I wonder if she's not taking this cub to its first kill. I think she might be doing just that. If not, she's definitely taking it somewhere new, because this is the furthest I've seen her move from that den site in quite some time. And so I'm hoping that this is where, you know, there is a kill or something, because she wasn't there yesterday. Conditions have been perfect for a hunting leopard, and so I would have thought that this would have been the best place. Now I'm just going to try get through here. Let's see. There we go. So let's just stop here so we can get a view. There goes the little one, still with Thandi, still jumping along behind her. Hey, little one. Yes, hello. This is beyond epic. Watching this as she takes this little one along, and how relaxed it is amazing to me. Normally a leopard cub, we've not really kind of followed this cub anywhere through the thickets, and so, it's not really seen too much off-roading, but it's absolutely chilled with all of us and is quite fine with this situation. So I'm going to try and just keep up with it and just see if we can. Thandi seems to be fine as well, and so as long as Thandi's okay, as soon as she shows that she's uncomfortable with us, I think I'm going to then let it go. But for now, she seems to be okay. She's going to a really nice big fallen over log, so maybe she'll just sit up there for a little bit and we'll see them kind of relaxing. I don't want to go too close though, because the fallen over log is just on my left hand side and Thandi's just behind it. So let's see. Will she go on top? I don't think so. It looks like she might be moving away from it. She's just behind the log there. So I want to just double check. And maybe the little cub is just kind of trotted off. Oh, there she is. She's going to pop up. Are you going to jump onto the log first, Thandi? Hello, beautiful girl. She really is a pretty leopard. She is very, very, very striking to look at. Are you going to lie down now behind there? It looks like she's laid down now because she hasn't come out to the right, and just the way her head dropped, I think she's decided just to kind of rest for a bit there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and go around. No, there's the little cub. No, it can just stay right here. Let's just see, the cub has come out a little bit. So if the cub's going to play around, then we find to sit here. I think she's definitely lying down though. The way the cub just went back to her, that's maybe the case. Maybe there's a little kill underneath this fallen over tree. Let's go around and see. It'll be so cool to see this little cub being taken to its first kill. Wouldn't that just be the most amazing sort of part of this whole process? At the end of the day, you know, we've managed to find dens, and we've been watching Thandi, and we've been seeing how she's been sort of handling the first few months, but it's always like little milestones that you want to try and reach with leopards and their cubs, and watching a cub being taken to its first kill is always a very special thing. Well, as you can see, we're still with Thandi, but what we've noticed is that it seems as though she's now taking this cub to a new den site. So she's moved away from the old one, and the tree that she's standing on top of now, if you look just a little bit down to the right, there is a massive hole underneath there, and that's where she keeps taking the cub back to. She keeps walking away from it, going back there, walking away, going back there, and trying to lie down at that little hole. So I think this is where she wants her cub now to stay for the next little bit. The cub is all over the place. It just keeps running around and doing its own thing and having a fine old time, and having really sort of not caring much about what mom wants to do. But she keeps settling there, and she's also been a little bit sort of more sort of hissy since we've come into this area. So I think this is what she wants, is to keep the cub at this tree itself. So I'm not going to spend too much time here. I want her to settle with the cub at this new den site. If this is the den, you can see they're talking to each other now. Let's see if it's going to come through. There we go. Now hopefully she's going to lie down there. I'm just trying to keep my voice down, because whenever there's a new den site or something like that, she is going to be far more aggressive about it until she settles in that area. So the fact that she took us all the way here with the cub means she's confident enough that we're around. She just has an area that she wants to kind of keep the attention away, and to try and just keep us at a safe distance. So as soon as she starts sort of any growling or hissing, like I say, that's when we know it's far enough. And parking where we are now, she seems to be much more comfortable, and hopefully that little cub will come back to where she is. I'm sure if she lies down, the little one will move back into that area. But this has just been the most special morning, and watching her taking this little cub to a new den site is a big vote of confidence from Thandi. She's then basically told us, you know, I don't mind you being around, and if she's going to lie down, that's going to be even bigger vote of confidence for us. There we go. Okay, my girl. And the fact that she's turning her back now is really good news. Okay, everything's fine. We're far away from your little one. Don't worry. There it comes. There comes the little one. Mary, you say it's a good thing that the new den is so close to the dam. Exactly, Mary. It is as good as one could ask for, because she should come and drink quite a bit. I don't think the cub will come down and drink. See, the cub's going to start suckling now. And I think Thandi wants some privacy and wants to let this little cub suckle. So I'm just going to let her kind of settle a little bit more, and then we're going to slowly make our way out of here. But it is really nice that she's so close to the lodge, and that she's moving the cub deeper into Djuma rather than southwards towards the sort of southern boundaries. She's now really as central as it could be, which is fantastic news. So she's really has taken over the same territory as Karula in terms of denning, and she's in the area where she was born as a little cub, which is fantastic news. But look at that. Isn't that just the sweetest thing? The little eyes are closed after a big walk. It's time for some food and a little drink. But you can see Thandi's still kind of looking over her shoulder at us. So I think let's take our leave now. We've had a ridiculously good sighting. I don't want to spoil it in any way, and I certainly don't want Thandi to feel like she's being pressured at this new den site. So we'll let the little one start suckling again, and let Thandi carry on grooming, and then we're going to make way and leave this area and let them have some peace and quiet. But how special is that? Oh, that is as good as it can ever get. And let's see if it goes into the hole itself. There we go, into the little hole. Nope, past the hole we're going to go. Right, well, we're going to leave Thandi and the little one to themselves and see if they can just take it easy. And while we do that, let's go back across to Steve, who I believe has been evaded by Tingana, and hopefully that will change as the last minute leopard for the Djuma crew this morning.